When it comes to the COVID-19 pandemic, older adults in New York City suffer the highest rates of the virus. And while the South Bronx, which is the poorest urban congressional district in the United States, has the highest rate of corona infections in the country. In older adults, the pandemic has also presented some unique challenges and obstacles, but the Bronx Senior Photo League is doing a great job in providing some much needed resources to them. And joining us now to share a little bit more about that is the Bronx Senior Photo League Program Director, and we're pleased to have Rhynna Santos joining with us. And Rhynna, good to have you.
Good morning, Darren. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. And so, obviously, for seniors in a time like this, a very critical time, and yet and still, the work that you guys are doing is tremendous because it's actually leaning into their lives and providing them some assistance as well as some support.
No, absolutely. I mean, the class is called Photographing My Life. And so basically, we're teaching older adults how to document their everyday life. But of course, as we had no idea, no one had an idea that COVID-19 was coming. So besides them doing personal projects during the academic year, once the senior centers were officially closed in the Bronx, which is March 23rd, our seniors, we moved our classes remotely and then began the work of actually documenting their lives and their challenges, good and bad, during COVID-19.
Mm. And so, when we talk about the seniors and the work that's going on, talk to me a little bit about the Photo League and your exhibition because that's creating a lot of visibility.
Well, thank you so much. We actually had to move our exhibition virtually this year. We usually have obviously a face-to-face exhibition. We have it outside the Mitchell Senior Center. But this year we merged both our classes at Mitchell Senior Center and at Kips Bay Castle Hill Senior Center onto a virtual year-end exhibition at bronxseniorphotoleague.org. And the challenge that we faced there is, we had to do classes virtually. So everything that we learned, photo assignments, writing assignments, had to be done by the phone. We received things via telephone, text, emails for some. But the really main challenge that our students face is being able to continue in the
Mm.
class. I mean, dealing with older adults already, face an issue of isolation. But during COVID-19, we really saw that the classes really changed from not just art classes, but as lifelines for these adults dealing with isolation, hopelessness, and depression, obviously facing this really, scary and unknown situation of COVID-19.
Mhm. How do you think that seniors actually perceive COVID-19? Obviously, for all of us, uh, nobody's ever been in a pandemic before. But for them, obviously, I would believe a new perspective.
Absolutely. We did, besides our classes, weekly classes that we would send via text, WhatsApp, or email, we actually included weekly self-care tips. And to be able to really help during this time, like issues of time management, a gratitude journal, meditation, exercise, things that would help them stay in a very positive state of mind. But what I really learned during all of the 13 weeks that we were remote was how much they actually, even though they've never been through a pandemic, none of us have, but how much they really had to share. Out of all the groups that I dealt with, my older adults were the ones that are taking care of themselves the most, had the best point of view because they are survivors. And that is the horrible challenge of, getting older in America, which is ageism. Once you hit a certain age, even though you have accomplished so much in your life, you're seen as someone that has nothing to really offer anymore. And I felt during COVID-19, they had a lot to offer, a lot of advice, especially about resilience and hope and perseverance and taking care of yourself, high value that you do have that I think you gain through a life experience. So they had a lot to share. And I wish that our society, especially our, artist community, really listen to these older adults. They're definitely not doing hobby photography. They're doing incredible, important work, especially due to COVID-19, because their message was, you're going to die. There, COVID-19 is killing older adults. And my class, for the 2 weeks before we shut down, I had perfect attendance because our students wanted to come and not just get information about what was happening, but a purpose. And so that's what we came up with the idea of them doing a personal project on their COVID-19 experience, which is featured on the year-end exhibition website.
How about therapeutic? I mean, this has got to be something that's therapeutic for them, having the opportunity to be able to do this. And I know that you said you lost some students along the way for isolation purposes, but for those that remained, how therapeutic was that?
It was incredibly therapeutic for my students and actually for myself as well. What we started with individual phone calls because again, we couldn't find one technological platform to be able to share classes with our students. But then we moved to conference calls and where we had the students actually be able to talk with each other, and that was transformative. Students wanted to reach out. We created a student family already in our classroom, which is very important as artists to be able to see each other as creators and as resources as well. And it became incredibly helpful for students to talk with each other. The message I kept getting from my students was that they were so thankful to continue being part of the class because it gave them something to look forward to. It gave them something to do. And they felt not just creative, but they felt valuable because the message that I kept telling them is you are recording history. People don't have this point of view, meaning for older adults. So it was an incredible, incredible experience, but also they gave me hope. You know, they raised my spirits and I was able to share their experience. And that's why I'm so glad to be able to have this incredible document, which is this website, to share with not just the South Bronx community and Bronxites, but the entire world for people to really begin to see how we really need to challenge our own ageist views to be able to see our community. They are not dispensable. Part of the exhibition, we have a page called Further Learning in Action, where we deal with actually the challenges that specifically older adults are facing during COVID-19. We have articles on ageism during COVID-19, ageism in politics, the New York City public housing response, and also nursing home risks. And we really wanted to educate our audience about how this slice of society isn't dispensable, unlike some politicians who would want to make us believe. And then we also created 5 different points. Basically, how can we strengthen our relationship with our older adults today? And I think it's very important for our audience to also be able to know that what can you do today? You can do something today, like educating yourself on the issues that older adults face, challenging your own ageist points of view, engaging and helping older adults in your life, volunteering to help older adults with daily needs, and more importantly, to vote for politicians who fight for the rights of older adults. So it started with being an art class, but in actuality, it's morphed into a movement because
Yeah.
at older adults, but we're all hopefully getting older. We're all going to be older too. And so this is an issue that really has to do with all of us.
Well, Rhonda, thank you so much for great work with our most vulnerable population, our seniors. I know that many people are really trying to find ways to care for them, and you're doing an excellent job there. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing, and we got to leave it there, but thank you.
Thank you very much.
All righty. Well, listen, if you want more information, all you got to do is go to BronxSeniorPhotoLeague.org, and there you can find the exhibition and then some. So, thank you to Rhynna for sharing with us, and thank you for staying with us. Listen, we're taking a quick break. We've got more show coming up right after this.